So the America First term is not the, it's been used before. It was used by Woodrow Wilson. It was used by it was also used by the German Bund, American Bund Nazi organization in the late 30s. It was also used by the other Nazi organization, which was the Christian Front, who I just did a video about. They were a Catholic organization, Irish Catholic. Irish and German Catholics were made up of that organization. They were Nazis. They supported the Nazis. They supported Hitler. Yeah, they didn't want us to go to war. They were very much isolationists. I've talked about this. We are not a country that can be isolationist. But of course, those type people wouldn't have wanted us to go into World War II because they wanted Hitler to be successful and carry out a complete genocide on all the Jewish people. So see, if we wouldn't have gone, that was an example, World War II is an example of a just war. Because I guarantee you, had we not done it, and all the Jews had been eliminated, we wouldn't, none of us on this planet would last very long after that. We wouldn't. If you know anything about the Bible, then you would know that. So you can't be an isolationist. So even though these current day Nazis, Tucker, the same one, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these ones that push this isolationist shit and do it because, oh, I'm about America first, when really they're about hating Israel more than they are loving America, okay? But that is not, they are not examples of MAGA, because MAGA, I'm true MAGA, okay? And most MAGA, yet we don't want to go into unnecessary foreign wars, but that didn't mean ever. That's what isolationists say. Never any wars, no matter what's going on in the world. Like, stop it. Like, sometimes you need to help others. That's why you can tell that these people are Nazis. They don't care about others. They blame the Jews for everything. It's like there's just no conscience in them. There's no heart. Nothing, it's just not there. Some of them try to pretend like they have one, but they don't. I don't know if you notice, they don't do a very good job of it. Like, especially once you see who they are. It's not like the Nazis had a heart, but they did hold a big rally at Madison Square Garden, the Nazis. Yeah, in February of 1939. So remember, Trump held a rally at Madison Square Garden. So then that's why people said, oh, he's a Nazi. Right. He's a Nazi with Jewish grandchildren. Sure. Okay. No, but you know, it's interesting. It seems like using that term, it's drawn all the Nazis out, the current ones. Have you noticed that? I mean, who would have thought Tucker, you know? But it's drawn all of them out, because they assume that he means the same thing, that he's an isolationist. No, he's not an isolationist. I mean, he doesn't want to just go into unnecessary wars. I think he knows MAGA doesn't want that either, but I think he knows MAGA, we can't be isolationists. Okay? That's a sick party. You don't want to be part of the sick party. That's the sick party. America First, if you had common sense, you understood what America First meant. It didn't mean never helping any other countries. It didn't mean not caring about any other countries. It didn't mean isolating from no. Because honestly, that's what Russia did. Like, that's what the Soviet Union did after World War II. Like, they just walled themselves off and just said nope. And I kind of understand it in a way, even though they were a dictatorship and all that. I mean, I kind of get it after the atrocities of seeing that the Nazis were just killing an entire group of people just because of that they were Jews. It's like, yeah, I think that you would feel that way. Like, you know what, we just need to, separate and just have some time alone. I mean, I can get that, but I mean, of course, and so that's why they had the wall up, and then that came down in the 80s. But you can't do that because it's dangerous to us and it's dangerous to the rest of the world because you become a paranoid country then, okay? So these people just are either idiots and they know who they serve, okay? They do. They know who they serve. But I think it's interesting that because Donald Trump used that term so often, America First, it's drawn all the Nazis out, the current ones. It's like, have you ever seen some of those movies, people that did serve under, there was an old, I can't think of it, it was like a scary movie, and this kid found that there was a Nazi, that he had a neighbor as a Nazi, and so he got him to, like become that role again, like immediately get into that role by saying certain things, and then he would do the, Hitler thing, and it was a creepy movie, and then he had him put on his old uniform, and the guy didn't want to do any of it, but the kid knew what to say to get him to do it. It was creepy. Like you've seen those where it's like if they, in some of those movies where if they see a Hitler sign, they automatically, because they're so brainwashed is what I'm saying. So that's almost what it seems like, is Donald Trump says that, and it's pulled those people out. I'm not, obviously they weren't involved in the Holocaust, okay, but they're the current ones. They've all shown their faces now. Like this Nick Fuentes, okay, that's what he is these people. That's what Candace and Tucker and Marjorie, that's them. This is them. But especially Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes believes we should have, no Jews, and no blacks. We should go back into segregation. I mean, have you listened to him? He's doing this on purpose, first of all, because he wants to make the country look bad. That's what these people wanted too. But they don't represent America. This is just 20,000 people. And that may seem a lot for a rally, right, in 1939. But that's a small drop in the bucket compared to the rest of the country. So Nick Fuentes is just an idiot. But he's doing that on purpose. But he literally is a Nazi. I don't think he could see it, or I think he does know it. How could he not? Are they that stupid? Maybe they all are that stupid. I don't think so. They know who they serve. So that's why, and this is Joe Kennedy. I showed this in another video, cover of Social Justice, because the Catholic priest behind this, Social Justice magazine, was Father Coughlin, who knew Joe Kennedy. And it is because of his every night radio programs pushing anti-Semitism and pro-Nazi stuff that it created the Catholic, Irish, German, Catholic, Christian front. That J. Edgar Hoover ended up arresting all of them, but of course they got off because, well, I had said in my last video that Kennedy was the judge. No, he was the prosecutor, but it was Harold Kennedy. But he supported the Christian front. So he was a Nazi because the Christian fronts were Nazis. Same thing. So you see how all of it ties back to the Kennedys and all these groups and all this Nazism. And I believe, and even though this is why I don't think we'll ever know who killed Kennedy, is because I think that he possibly was taken out for our best interest. I don't think the Kennedys were going to leave. They were tied to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has done nothing in their history but want to control every country. They could have done it through the Kennedys. Look at, they were already, even though they always try to remove themselves, like from the father being in, from these abuse cases. No, why does it always happen in your religion? But it's the Irish, it's the Catholic, it's the Kennedys, all going back, all hating on the Jews, all the same damn problem that's rearing its ugly, ugly head today. And that's why I think, just me thinks, that JFK was taken out for our best interest.